Hey guys, it's your boy the B-Camera, and welcome to the update for career mode on February 27th, 2015. And no, I'm not ripping off MGH. I actually came up with this idea by myself independently, and I've been doing it for 2 weeks ahead of MGH. I'm pretty sure he came up with it on his own. We're just doing the same thing. Hopefully, we do very little overlap because there's just so many players that are upgraded and downgraded and added in that it's just almost impossible to wrap them all up into one show. So I would advise you watch both of our videos because he's probably going to be going over players that I don't go over and vice versa. And guys, if you're liking this series, please hit the like button and share it with your friends on Twitter, on Facebook, or whatever, because it really helps me out. And we're just going to jump right into it. And the first guy we're going to get into is in the buff section, and that is a pretty buff man himself, Jordan Ibe, or Jordan eBay. I like to call him eBay. And as you can see right here, guys, a +2 to overall, +3 to potential for the left winger, a long overdue upgrade. The guy has just been sensational in the freaking Barclays Premier League, and let's go ahead and look at how nasty he has been upgraded right here. Let's go ahead. Woo! There are some nice upgrades in here. Look at that, +4 to dribbling, +19 to curve. Unfortunately, that only gives him a 53, but still, +19 to curve. Nice ball control right there. A little bit in the defending stats, plus a couple more in these defending stats, +8 to shot power, +7 to strength, and +6 to long shots. Even with those sizable upgrades, he's not that good, but with the potential upgrade, he is going to just grow into a monster. Next up on the buff list, we got the one, the only Tiago Silva from Paris Saint-Germain, and he's getting a +1/+1 overall. And let's go ahead and look at his stats. Nothing too outstanding, just +1 to heading, +2 to reactions, +1 marking, and stand tackle, but overall a nice little upgrade for Tiago Silva. Ooh, this one gets me excited. This one brings back the nostalgia. The beast from FIFA 14. Everybody got him in their career modes. It was Anthony Martial, and look at him. He is back finally. Had a sizable downgrade in FIFA 15, but now getting that +3 potential up to an 83, getting a +1 overall. He is back, baby. The legend is back. Anthony Martial, 4-star weak foot. Let's go ahead and take a look at his upgrades. +3 to crossing, +2 to finishing, +1 to shot power, +1 to reactions, +4 to long passing, +3 to ball control, +1 to dribbling, +5 to vision, and a couple other great stats right here, guys. And man, oh man, he's back! Anthony Martial, the legend. Next up in the buff section is this guy, Marco Verratti, and another guy from PSG. A lot of PSG guys are getting a buff this week, and he is not getting any overall buff, but he's getting a +3 potential that gives him a whopping 90 potential at the CM and CDM position. Oh my goodness, as you can see, check in the stats, nothing upgraded. Whoa, actually, I lied. +2 to dribbling, +2 to aggression, but not enough to get him up any higher. Long passer, playmaking dribbler, and acrobat, one of the best. Now, arguably the best central midfielder to CDM in the game, Verratti. And yes, another PSG man in the upgrades. PSG apparently has just been killing it. The Argentinian, who's not small for once, a very tall for an Argentinian, 6'2", and he's got 81 and 86 potential, getting a +1/+1, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves, can play the central midfield and both of the wings. And let's go ahead and take a look at his stats that is upgraded. Javier Pastore is getting a upgrade to +1 to short passing, +1 to dribbling, +2 to long passing, +2 to acceleration, 1 to sprint speed, and 2 to reactions, a couple of positioning and vision, and a +2 to stamina. Always nice to have a little bit of stamina. Got the flair, playmaker, and playmaker. Again, that's a little bit redundant as his traits and specialties. And whoo, man, Paris Saint-Germain just got a huge buff altogether in this freaking update. Next one up in the buff section, Bayer Leverkusen's man, Karim Bellarabi, and he is getting a +1/+1, bumping him up to a 79 and an 82 potential. He's got that 4-star skill moves. The German international can play right mid, right winger, and center forward positions. Let's go ahead and check the stats right here. +1 to crossing, +1 to dribbling, +1 to ball control, +1 to reactions, a couple of positioning and vision. So the upgrades actually in this, not all that huge, but that +1/+1, always nice to see for Karim Bellarabi. And maybe a not so well-known guy getting a buff this week, the Olympique de Marseille guy, Benjamin Mendy, is getting a +2 to overall and a +5 to potential. Left back from France is only 19 years old, and he is now one of the better left back buys for a mid-tier team in the game. Let's go ahead and take a look at those stats. Nothing in the movement, but +3 in marking, stand tackle, and +4 to sliding tackle, +19 to dribbling. Wow! +3 to curve, +2 to long passing, +4 to ball control, +2 to crossing, +3 to finishing. Bring it up to a whopping 32. Ooh, that sucks. But there we go, +3 to the short passing and -2 to long shots. A little bit odd right there, but some pretty nasty buffs to this guy. Remember the name, Benjamin Mendy, if you need a cheap left back in your career modes. That was it for the buff section, and now we're going into the nerf section. And unfortunately, it's going to be a man from Manchester United with a whopping -10 potential. Freaking Andreas Pereira, the cam for Manchester United, who has recently been linked to a move to Juventus, is getting a -10 to freaking potential. Wow, effectively just making him almost a purely useless player. Thank God I started my road to glory and bought him before this nerf happened. As you can see, nothing really affecting his overall stats right here, but man, oh man, oh man. EA, what the hell, man? Next up in the nerf section is this guy, Lallana, the former Southampton man, is getting a -3 to his overall potential. Still a decent man. He's already 80, but can only go up one more. And let's go ahead and take a look at his base stats down here, and nothing is going to be changed down there, but a -3. A little bit nasty on that nerf. Another guy who's getting a nerf this week, Thiago Alcantara, and the man from Bayern Munich is getting a -1. And we're going to go ahead and take a look down at his stats and downgrades. As you can see, a -13 to stamina, getting the injury prone thing. I'm guessing he's coming back from injury, and he's working his way back in from those just terrible knee injuries that have been hampering his career. Bright young talent. Hopefully he can get back into form and get these stats back up. Not too bad though, only -13 to stamina, but if you're going to get -13 in one thing, stamina is pretty crucial, especially if you're using him for a CDM or CM. He's going to be running out of steam really early, so maybe avoid Thiago Alcantara in your career modes. Next on the nerf list is this guy, Bahlouli from Olympique Lyonnais, and he's going to get a -1 to overall, -1 to potential. Still a good cheap buy if you're looking for a high potential cam in your career modes. Let's go ahead and look at his downgrades. Ooh, these are some pretty nasty ones though. -4 to dribbling, -2 to curve, -2 to long passing, -1 to penalties, -1 to crossing, -4 to heading accuracy, and -4 to short passing. Those are actually some sizable downgrades, because if you're buying him as kind of a low-end cam with high potential, getting a +4 is basically a year's worth of development. So I mean, that is just a lot of these stats are almost a year's worth of development that are going down the drain. So maybe not the best choice to get anymore in your career modes. Bahlouli, a little bit sad to see. Next up, another youngster that was good to buy low and was going to develop into a low mid 80s beast, and that would be this guy, the Spaniard Carlos Blanco, who started at an 63 and could end up in an 83 before this -3 to his potential change at Juventus. As you can see, nothing in his stats has changed, but just not quite the bright youngster that he used to be. And this one is quite sad, because I'm an American and my big boy, big time Timmy Jim Howard, is going down -1. Unfortunately, he hasn't been in the best of forms, and he's old, man. He's a 35-year-old at Everton, and we're going to go ahead and look at his stats. Not too crucial, just getting a -1, -2, and -1. So not a huge downgrade, and he does have the injury-free trait and leadership, which is still a good trait, but unfortunately, it's the decline of the great American goalkeeper. A little bit sad to see, but thank you, Tim Howard, for all that you have done for club and country. And this one I just had to put in just for the funsies, and that is Heskey. I just had to do it. Playing for Bolton Wanderers, getting a -1 to his potential, and we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the stats. And only -4 to sprint speed, like that will ever stop Heskey. I'm pretty sure he's still quite a beast, and for you guys who want to use him for funsies, he's a little bit worse, but not that much worse. And now for the Emre Can section of the week. It seems like every single time I've done one of these career mode updates, Emre Can has been in it. He's either getting a +3 or -3, and this week it's the -3 week. He's getting -3 to his potential, but as you can see, none of his stats are affected. and essentially, I don't know what they're doing with him. They just can't make up their minds. One week he's super high up, some weeks he's super high down, and I wouldn't be surprised if next week he gets a buff. That concludes the Emre Can portion of this week's show. And now for the Nerf buff section, in a really odd one that I've yet to see. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is getting a +1 to his overall, but a -1 to his potential. So that is odd. Well, how did EA determine this? It's just like, yeah, he's playing pretty good right now, but I can see that he's gonna break down early. Like, how do you see that in a player that he's playing extremely well at the moment, but he's gonna suck in the future? There must have been some argument at EA that was just like, no, Aubameyang's really good. And I'm like, nah, man, he sucks. He's fucking garbage. Just getting lucky. But man, oh man, oh man. I mean, if you're going to get a -1 into potential and you're going to get a +1 into your overall, these are some nice freaking upgrades. +1 to reaction, +1 to curve, +2 to free kick accuracy, +2 to long passing, always nice, +3 to crossing, +1 to short passing. So all of these pretty nice, and +1 to vision. His vision is surprisingly high at 77, so he can definitely play a lot of great roles in your team. Really high passing for a striker, and really good vision for a striker or a right midfielder. Spider-Man, Spider-Man. And now for the interesting ads of the week, and we're going to start off first with this guy, another huge grower, a grower of 20 points. The man is at Cesena right now, and he is Italian, and his name is Nicola Damonte, and he starts out at a 60 but grows to an 80 potential. Is a striker, 3-star weak foot, 2-star skill moves, and not so great, but let's go ahead and look at his stats for a 60 rated player overall. Not the best in the movement stats. 72 finishing at 60, guys, at freaking 60. 72 penalties. By the time he reaches 80, he's definitely going to get that freaking clinical finisher. And 69 jumping are his notable stats. So there you guys go. If you guys need a cheap striker in your career modes, remember the name, Nicola Damonte. Next guy up, he was taken out I think a couple of weeks ago, and now he is back in, and that is Yann M'Vila, the Frenchman right here. Starts out with a 78 and has the potential of 71, can play the CM and CDM position, and as you can see, pretty decent stats, good overall movement stats, bad balance but good reactions, very good defending stats right there, all in the high 70s, and great stamina and strength. Just a really good central midfielder to central defensive midfielder. Also has the tactician and long shot taker traits. So he is a very nice CDM for you guys to buy in your career modes. He is back, Yann M'Vila. For all you guys who are starting those road to glories with Shrewsbury Town or Portsmouth, here you guys go. Here's another one to look out for, and that is the PSG man right here, Rol Pierre de Sa, and he starts out at a 61 but grows to a 76. Not bad, can play the CM, left mid, left winger. Not too impressive in these stats, but let's go ahead and scroll down into these stats, and this is what makes him interesting. For a 61 rated overall player, he has an acceleration of 82 and a sprint speed of 81, 74 agility and 71 balance, 67 dribbling and 67 potential. Remember, those might not be super impressive, but if you compare it to a person who starts out at 61 and grows to a 76, just imagine how good those stats will be when he reaches his full potential. Ooh. And the biggest thing of all is he plays a central midfield position, so you're gonna have a guy in the central midfield who can really fly around and break play up, as well as push forward on the attack. And last up on the notable ads, the Englishman Josh Onoma from Tottenham. He keeps on getting removed from the game and getting put back in. Well, this week he is back in, guys, for Tottenham. Starts out at 55 and grows to a 76 potential. Can play the cam position for Tottenham. As you can see, pretty darn good stats for a guy who's 55, already has very good movement stats, dribbling and ball control, and is going to have some sizable growth. Hopefully his technical stats grow a little bit more, but he could be a little good cam for lower tier teams. And that is it for this week's career mode update. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let us bow our heads in memory of the notable guy that we are losing this week, and that is Juan Sanchez Mino. He had an overall potential of 80 and had 4-star weak foot with 3-star he had 3-star weak foot with 4-star skill moves and pretty decent stats. So let's go ahead and bow our heads for Juan Sanchez Mino. This has been your boy, the B-Gamer. And remember, as always, stay humble. We are pirates. We do not get looted. We're the ones who do the looting. We are the danger.